Summary of the Sonnet 29, When in Disgrace with Fortune and Men's Eyes, by William Shakespeare. In Sonnet 29, Shakespeare expresses a deep sense of personal despair and social isolation but resolves these feelings through the power of love. The speaker begins by describing himself as being in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes, which means he feels abandoned by luck and scorned by society. He is alienated, lamenting his misfortune, and feeling outcast from the world. This despondent mood is evident in the phrases "all alone beweep my outcast state" and "trouble deaf heaven with my bootless cries," where he feels that his prayers are unheard, and his complaints go unheeded. The speaker's envy of others deepens his sorrow. He wishes for qualities that other people possess: hope, beauty, social connections, talent, and influence, as seen in lines like "wishing me like to one more rich in hope and desiring this man's art and that man's scope." In this state, he even admits that what he once enjoyed no longer brings him contentment. His inner turmoil escalates to the point where he despises himself, sinking into a state of self-pity and regret. However, the sonnet undergoes a significant shift in tone. The word "haply," by chance, marks the turning point, as the speaker remembers someone dear to him, likely a beloved or close companion. This memory immediately lifts his spirits, likened to a lark soaring at dawn, singing hymns of praise. The image of the lark at break of day arising or from sullen earth contrasts sharply with the previous despair, symbolizing the transformation from sorrow to joy. The love he recalls brings such immense emotional wealth that he no longer wishes to trade his life for that of anyone else, not even for a king. In terms of rhythm and meter, the poem follows the typical structure of a Shakespearean sonnet. It consists of 14 lines written in iambic pentameter, where each line contains 5 pairs of syllables, with the stress falling on the second syllable of each pair: da-dum, 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 da-dum. This steady rhythm creates a musical quality, especially in the more uplifting sections of the poem, such as when the speaker recalls his beloved. The rhyme scheme is ABABCDCDEFEFGG, which is also standard for a Shakespearean sonnet. This structure divides the poem into 3 quatrains, 4-line sections, followed by a concluding rhymed couplet, 2 lines. Each quatrain develops a distinct part of the speaker's emotional journey, from despair to envy to self-loathing, before the final couplet resolves these feelings with the revelation of love's power. The themes of the sonnet center on emotional transformation, self-worth, and the healing power of love. Shakespeare portrays how external circumstances and feelings of inferiority can crush one's spirit, but the memory of true love can offer redemption and solace, restoring the speaker's sense of worth and contentment. The contrast between worldly riches and the emotional wealth brought by love highlights the poem's deeper philosophical message: love transcends material concerns and social status.
Line-by-line explanation of the Sonnet 29, When in Disgrace with Fortune and Men's Eyes, by William Shakespeare.
Line 1, When, in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes. The speaker begins by expressing his deep sense of being out of favor with both fortune, luck, and society. He feels that circumstances have turned against him and that he is being judged harshly by others. The phrase "men's eyes" suggests that the speaker is highly conscious of how he is perceived by society, and this external judgment adds to his feelings of disgrace and misfortune. Line 2, I all alone beweep my outcast state. Here, the speaker emphasizes his solitude, suggesting that he feels entirely abandoned and alienated. Beweep means to weep over something, and the use of outcast further underlines his sense of exclusion from the rest of society. He feels isolated and left to wallow in his misfortune, with no one to comfort or understand him. This adds to the speaker's sense of loneliness and despair. Line 3, And trouble deaf heaven with my bootless cries. The speaker turns to prayer but feels that his cries are futile. The phrase "deaf heaven" implies that his pleas and prayers are unheard or ignored, intensifying his feeling of hopelessness. His bootless cries, meaning useless or ineffective, suggest that even divine intervention offers no relief. This deepens the sense of frustration, as he feels that no one, not even a higher power, is willing to help him. Line 4, and look upon myself and curse my fate. The speaker then turns inward, examining his own life and cursing the unfortunate fate he has been dealt. There is a sense of powerlessness in this line. He despairs over his circumstances, yet feels incapable of changing them. His fate seems to be something that has been imposed on him, leading him to express frustration and self-blame. Line 5, wishing me like to one more rich in hope. In this line, the speaker reveals his envy of those who are more hopeful and optimistic about life. He longs to be like those who have more confidence in the future. The phrase rich in hope contrasts with the speaker's current state of despair and suggests that hope itself is a form of wealth, something valuable that the speaker feels he lacks. Line 6, featured like him with friends possessed. The speaker continues his comparisons, now envying the physical appearance and social connections of others. He wishes he had the features of someone else, perhaps someone more attractive, and that he were surrounded by friends, unlike his current state of loneliness. This line highlights the speaker's deep-seated insecurities, both about his appearance and his social status. Line 7, desiring this man's art and that man's scope. Here, the speaker expresses envy toward the talents, art, of one person and the influence or opportunities, scope, of another. He admires what others have accomplished, wishing he had their abilities or life prospects. This line reflects the speaker's dissatisfaction with his own abilities and opportunities, and his tendency to compare himself unfavorably to others. Line 8, with what I most enjoy contented least. The speaker admits that even the things he once enjoyed no longer bring him happiness. This suggests that his discontent has grown so deep that it affects all aspects of his life, even the things that used to give him pleasure. He feels disconnected from joy, adding to his sense of frustration and sadness. Line 9, yet in these thoughts myself almost despising. As the speaker reflects on these negative thoughts and his constant comparisons to others, he begins to feel self-hatred. He is on the brink of despising himself for his shortcomings and for the jealousy that has consumed him. This marks a low point in his emotional journey, as he almost succumbs to self-loathing. Line 10, haply I think on thee, and then my state. The word haply means by chance or luckily, and it signals a sudden shift in the speaker's mood. As he is immersed in these thoughts of despair and envy, he happens to remember someone dear to him, likely a beloved. This memory brings an immediate change to his emotional state, pulling him out of his downward spiral. Line 11, like to the lark at break of day arising. The speaker compares his uplifted mood to a lark rising at dawn. The lark is a bird traditionally associated with joy and the break of day, symbolizing a new beginning. This imagery evokes a sense of freedom and lightness, as the speaker's spirits rise from the depths of despair. His newfound joy is as sudden and transformative as the lark's morning song. Line 12, from sullen earth, sings hymns at heaven's gate. Just as the lark rises from the sullen earth, a gloomy, heavy environment, to sing joyfully at heaven's gate, the speaker's mood lifts, and he finds himself full of happiness. The reference to heaven's gate suggests a spiritual elevation, as if his newfound happiness is so great that it reaches heavenly heights. His thoughts of love have lifted him out of his gloom, filling him with hope and joy. Line 13, for thy sweet love remembered such wealth brings. The memory of the beloved's sweet love fills the speaker with a sense of emotional wealth. This love is more valuable to him than any material possessions or social status. The wealth brought by love transforms the speaker's view of his life, making him feel rich and fortunate despite his earlier complaints of isolation and misfortune. Line 14, that then I scorn to change my state with kings. In the final line, the speaker asserts that the love he feels is so valuable that he would not trade his situation for that of a king. The poem concludes with the idea that love transcends all worldly concerns, wealth, power, and social status, and brings true contentment. The speaker's emotional journey is complete, as he moves from despair and envy to a deep appreciation for the love in his life, which ultimately makes him feel richer than a king.
About the poet. William Shakespeare was born on April 23, 1564, in Stratford-upon-Avon, England. He is widely regarded as one of the greatest playwrights and poets in the English language. Shakespeare's body of work includes 39 plays, 154 sonnets, and 2 long narrative poems. His plays, such as Hamlet, Romeo and Juliet, Macbeth, and Othello, are celebrated for their exploration of complex human emotions, universal themes, and masterful use of language. He was also a brilliant innovator, contributing significantly to the development of drama, including both tragedy and comedy. Shakespeare's works have been translated into numerous languages and are performed around the world, making him one of the most influential literary figures in history. He was part of the London theatre scene and co-owned the Globe Theatre. He died on April 23, 1616, leaving behind a timeless legacy that continues to inspire and shape literature today.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.